Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. This is probably the most common video you will see on this channel. It will be comparing to vehicles. Today we're going to be comparing the I apologize for my dog barking. But anyways, so today we're going to be comparing the John Deere 3038E compact utility tractor to the Kubota L3301 hydrostatic four-wheel drive and L3301 GST two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. So, this is actually exported from the John Deere website. Exact same. So, let's get started. So, the first thing we will be comparing is the engine. Family doesn't really matter. The John Deere engine simply is a Yanmar, and the Kubota engine is a Kubota. The engine model in the John Deere is the 3TN V86CT NJT, and the engine model in the Kubota is the D1803 CRE4. The gross engine power of the John Deere is 27.4 kilowatts or 36.7 horsepower. So simply the Yanmar engine is more reliable. The John Deere engine has about 4 more horsepower. And if we go down here, the John Deere has 22.4 kilowatts of PTO horsepower and 30 horsepower of PTO power. The Kubota two-wheel drive, 20.6 kilowatts of PTO power, 27.7 horsepower. Then the four-wheel drive hydrostatic has 19.5 kilowatts and doesn't say horsepower for it. So John Deere more horsepower, and usually tractors with more horsepower will have a greater amount of PTO horsepower. So we can easily see why the John Deere has more PTO power. Now, the rated engine speed for the John Deere is 2,500 RPM, and the Kubota was rated at 2,700 RPM. So, I mean, the John Deere is gonna have a little bit more horsepower than the Kubota, because at 2,700 RPMs, the Kubota is putting out 33 horsepower, and at 2,500, the John Deere is putting out right about 37. So, you can see a difference there. They are both diesel engines. The injection pump type, I honestly like the John Deere pump better. The John Deere uses a high pressure common rail direct injection, and the Kubota uses just regular plain old direct injection. Now, the aspiration, the John Deere is a turbocharged engine, and the Kubota is a natural engine. They are both, their emissions compliance are both final tier 4. The John Deere has 3 cylinders, 1.7 L3 liters to the I can't speak. Cubic liters. Cubic liter. Well, anyways. And 95.7 cubic inches. And the Kubota has 3 cylinders as well. And it has 111.4 cubic inches. So, the Kubota engine may put out less horsepower, but you can look here. The Kubota engine is quite a bit bigger than the John Deere engine. So that's a little something iffy maybe about the Kubota. Ooh, that's not good. Doesn't say anything about the cylinder liners for the Kubota. So, that makes me think that they're not good, or maybe they might be better than the John Deere cylinder liners, so maybe they don't put that on here. But the cylinder liners are cast in black on the John Deere. Bore and stroke 86 by 90 cubic meters and 4 by 3.54 inches on the John Deere. Then for the Kubota, it's 87 by 102.4 millimeters to the third and 4 by 4 inches. Compression ratio 19.1 to 1. Doesn't say anything about the Kubota. Lubrication on both of these tractors is pressurized. They are both liquid cooled. I like liquid cooled vehicles tend to run cooler than air cooled vehicles, especially if it's a hot day. Cause the air coming into the vehicle's engine is gonna be cold, or it's gonna be hot if it's a hot day. So, air cleaner is dual element on the John Deere, and the Kubota one is a single element, which is standard, but you have the option for dual element. So, 1 second. The engine torque rated at 2,500 RPM on the John Deere is 77.4 pounds per foot. The fuel tank capacity on the John Deere is 28.5 liters and 7.5 gallons. On the Kubota, it's quite higher. It's 42 liters and 11 US gallons. Okay, we get to the electrical. The battery size on the John Deere is 500 CCA, and on the Kubota, it's 580 CCA. The alternator on the John Deere is 75 amp, which is quite larger than the Kubota's alternator, which is 40 amp. So the Kubota is kind of weak in that category. And the starter size on the John Deere is 1.9 horsepower. Doesn't say anything about the Kubota for that category. Then we get to this really short one. It's just type of fuel system: high pressure common rail direct injections for the John Deere and direct injection for the Kubota. Doesn't say anything about fuel consumption. Let me just scroll down here. Okay. Transmission. The John Deere has hydrostatic, and this is standard. And the Kubota has 3-range hydrostatic. Hydrostatic is the standard transmission on the John Deere, but there is no option for gear driven. On the Kubota, you can get gear driven 8 forward, 8 reverse Left-hand reverser, no. Left-hand reverser, no. Transmission gear ranges. For the Kubota, it's 3 range, 8 forward, 8 reverse. Nothing for the John Deere because it's obviously hydrostatic. Final drive for the John Deere is bull gear, bevel gear for the Kubota. Wet disc brakes for the John Deere, multiple wet disc brakes for the Kubota. Power steering on the John Deere, integral power steering on the Kubota. The clutch on the Kubota is dual stage dry. It doesn't say anything about the wet clutch because neither of these have a wet clutch. Axle capacity on the John Deere. The front axle can support 798 kilograms or 1,760 pounds. The rear axle can support 1,197 kilograms or 2,460 pounds. And the Kubota's axles are quite a bit stronger. The rear axles are around the same, but the front axle on the Kubota is just quite a bit bulkier. The front axle can support, the front and the rear axle are the same. The front and rear axle on the Kubota can support 1,299.5 kilograms or 2,865 pounds. Creeper doesn't say anything about the John Deere, which makes me think yes and no on the Kubota. Cruise control is optional on both vehicles. There's differential lock on both vehicles. Doesn't say anything about the drawbar. Okay. The hydraulic on the John Deere is open center. Doesn't say anything about the Kubota. Steering on the John Deere is 15.0 liters per minute and 4.0 gallons per minute. Implement is 20.2 liters per minute and 5.3 gallons per minute. I don't know what that last measurement is. It's the combined hydraulic flow. 35.2 liters per minute and 9.3 gallons per minute. And we get over to the Kubota. Stronger for the implement, but it's a little weaker on the steering. 14.5 liters per minute on the steering, 3.8 gallons per minute. 23.9 liters per minute on the implement, 6.3 gallons per minute. Then total 42 liters per minute and 11.1 gallons per minute. So, yeah, total, there's more. But if you look at steering, the steering's going to be a little harder on the Kubota. Not much, but just a tad. Pump type on the John Deere is dual gear and is tandem pump on the Kubota. Maximum operating pressure on the John Deere is 2,500 psi and 2,349 psi. So the John Deere has a higher max pressure, so it means it's a little bit of stronger pump. Draft control sensing on the John Deere, position control, and position control on the Kubota too. Remote control valves available, up to 3 on the Kubota and up to 2 on the John Deere, but they're both optional on the John Deere. The 3 are optional on the Kubota also, as well. 3-point hitch. Okay. We already went over the final drive stuff. Because that was in before. Both tractors have a Category 1 3-point hitch. The lift capacity, 24 inches behind the link arms, is 15.1 kilograms, and and 1356 pounds. 650.9 kilograms on the Kubota, 1435 pounds. PTO, they are both 540 PTOs. The PTO is not optional on the Kubota or the John Deere. They are both independent controls, or John Deere is independent. This is live power takeoff with overrunning clutch on the Kubota. The clutch on the John Deere is multi-disc wet and dual-stage dry on the Kubota. Brake for mid and rear PTO on the John Deere, multiple wet and multiple wet on the Kubota too. Engagement method is mechanical on the Kubota. I don't know what it is on the John Deere. Fluid capacities, 4.8 quarts of oil with the filter, and 7.1 quarts on the Kubota. Transmission and hydraulic system, 5.5 US gallons, and 7.4 for two-wheel drive gear, 7.5 for four-wheel drive gear, 6.2 gallons for four-wheel drive or hydrostatic. Let's just go down a little here. Okay. Rigid rollover protective system on the John Deere and foldable on the Kubota. Semi-flat platform on the John Deere, and on John Deere the gear shift location is on the left hand side, and on the Kubota gear model below the steering wheel. The John Deere is applicable with cab, but it doesn't say anything about the cab. So we're just going to skip that section because the Kubota says NA for non-applicable for all those. Dimensions on the John Deere, 159.5 centimeters, 62.8 inches is the wheelbase, 161 centimeters and 63.3 inches on the Kubota. So the Kubota is a little bit longer. They will both fit on a 6-foot trailer though. So you don't need a very long trailer to move these tractors. Front axle clearance on the John Deere is 14.3 inches or 36.3 centimeters. On the two-wheel drive Kubota, it's 34.6 centimeters or 13.64 inches. So the Kubota is a little lower to the ground. On the four-wheel drive, it's 34 centimeters and 13.4 inches. So, yes, it is a little bit lower than the John Deere. Turning radius with brakes on the Kubota two-wheel drive is 2.4 meters or 7.9 feet. And it's 2.5 meters, 8.2 feet on the four-wheel drive. On the John Deere without brakes, it's 2.9 meters or 9.4 feet. So the Kubota is probably going to be around there also as well. Limited slip differential. Kubota doesn't have it. Some John Deeres do, so I'm not sure. Shipping weight of the John Deere is 1,007.9 kilograms or 2,222 pounds. On the Kubota two-wheel drive gear, it's 1,159.8 kilograms, or 2,557 pounds. The four-wheel drive gear, it's 1,240.1 kilograms, 2,734 pounds. Four-wheel drive hydrostatic, 1,260.1 kilograms, 2,778 pounds. The John Deere can have turf tires, farm tires, or R4 tires. The Kubota can have ag and two-wheel, ag and four-wheel, and industrial on the four-wheel. For the rear tires, turf, farm, and R4 on the John Deere, and ag and industrial on the Kubota. Front tread range on the Kubota two-wheel drive is 104.9 centimeters, 41.3 or 44.1 inches, and 109.5 centimeters on the four-wheel drive, 43.1 inches on the rear tread spacing, 101.5, 119.5 or 129 centimeters. Then 43.8, 47.1 or 50.8 inches. Miscellaneous, they can both have a toolbox. The John Deere, I know, has a tilt steering wheel. I'm not sure about the Kubota. And they both have options for a 12-volt outlet. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will be doing one soon comparing a Ford F350 Super Duty to a, or not, I get my videos mixed up. That is the one coming in a month. I will be doing at least one of these videos a week. Either tomorrow or Wednesday, I will be posting a video that will be comparing the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 to the Ford F-150. Hope you enjoyed this video. I really do. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Thank you for watching.